Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and today I'm here with a design team post for Fairy Stamper. Today I'm going to be using Sprinkle Kindness, Raindrops, April, Fairy Whispers, those are all stamps, and then I'm using Fairy Rainfall stencil. I'm going to start out by taping the stencil down where I want it. Now I'm not going to put ink on the entire card. I have a card base that is an A2 size card, or 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I am going to do this directly onto the card base, so there's going to be no panel there. I am using a kind of light turquoise, light blue, that I'm just going to be getting that big kind of raindrop outline splash, and that's what I'm going to use the stencil on. So once I get that to kind of the color where I want it, I will just lift that up and then kind of make that my base. I'm going to then add the April stamp, and I am using VersaFine Onyx black ink, and I am going to be stamping that a couple times because it's the first time I've used the stamp. So I want to make sure I get a real crisp, clean image on there. And I kind of placed her directly where the splash, kind of in the center of it, where it kind of happened from. Then I just took a scrap piece of black cardstock, and I am using some embossing ink, and I am going to emboss in white embossing powder the sentiment from Fairy Whispers that says raindrops are like fairy whispers. And then I am actually going to stamp the kindness is free, sprinkle it everywhere sentiment inside of the card. I don't always stamp sentiments inside of the card, but I kind of think this one just went with the card theme, and I kind of like that. So I just cut that piece down, and then, believe it or not, I was actually thinking in my mind when I was cutting this that I was going to make a fishtail. Obviously I made a arrow point like instead, but it was fine and I kept it that way. And then here I'm going to, again, like I said, stamp the sentiment on the inside. I am using the VersaFine or Onyx black ink again. And again, I'm going to stamp that a couple times. I've used this stamp before, and I really probably didn't need it, but I feel like it can't hurt. When you're using the stamp platform and it's there and it's able to, then why not just make sure that everything is really crisp and clear. I used some foam tape to pop up the sentiment strip that I'm going to pop on the front of that card. And then I'm going to get the platform back again, and I'm going to stamp multiple times with with the same color ink that I had used with the stencil. And once I stamped that a bunch of times with the ink, because I used alcohol ink, sometimes you have to stamp it multiple times to get the really clean, crisp image, and that's what I was doing here. Then I'm going to be using some clear Nuvo drops that will dry clear, so it kind of looks like raindrops that are coming down, just on those couple raindrop stamps. And then I'm going to be using the Spectrum Noir sparkle pen to put some sparkle in on the wings and in a few other areas. And that's going to finish up the card. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining me. And I want to ask you to make sure that you subscribe to Fairy Stamper. Click the little bell so that you can get notifications when there is new content that has gone up. And make sure you head over to the Fairy Stamper Facebook page, as well as fairystamper.com, where you can get all of these stamps, stencils, and all this fun stuff. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining me as I kind of finish up this card, and I hope everybody has an amazing day. Take care.